What is up, you guys? DIGGIN here, back with the reaction. Make sure you like and subscribe.
Pierce the heavens and conquer infinity.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. Deep underground, Jiha village lived in dreary isolation, oblivious to the wider world above their squalid cave.
That's where the hero of our story comes in. The young man who would lead his comrades into the sunlight at last. Kamina, the great and mighty. Oh, and his little brother from another mother, Simone. He was there too, I guess.
Simone was a digger, content to drill endlessly through the dirt, until the day he found the core drill.
Gurren activated the mysterious buried mech that Kamina named Lagann. Under his magnificently masculine leadership, Kamina finally drilled their way to freedom, seeing the sun after a life in the dark.
But the sky was by no means the limit. The surface was ruled by the cruel chimeric beastmen, and Kamina would lead his compatriots against them to reclaim the earth for humanity.
It's a clean premise, I like it.
In the process, aptly named Gurren.
And as befits Kamina and Simone's unbreakable brotherly bond, Gurren and Lagann merged, creating Gurren Lagann.
With Kamina piloting the body and Simone the head, these two were unstoppable.
Of all the giant fighting robots
So it's a double?
and all the enemies across history, Gurren Lagann might just be the absolute coolest, fueled by its pilot's willpower and capable of making any weapon they can imagine.
Including missiles, a jetpack, a sunglasses boomerang, and of course...
drills! Wrist-mounted drills, kunai drills, shield drills, kamehameha drills, and everyone's favorite, the Giga Drill Bureku! Side note, it is so funny that the only thing they could think of was drills. That's like if I made booze or something, my whole personality. What up?
With Gurren Lagann's awesome power, Kamina laid waste to enemy forces, liberated human villages, and fomented a rebellion against the Beastmen King, Lord Genome.
Until Kamina died. Oh, wait, shit, was that supposed
Damn.
to happen?
Nope, and it was all Simone's fault. He let his willpower waver, and his soul brother paid the price. After all, he was just a humble digger, at home in the darkness, guided solely by the light of Kamina's spirit.
So his big bro left him with these final words. Have faith in the Simone who believes in you. Damn.
Kamina was the
Some
one
real
who
shit.
looked to him the whole time. It was Simone who found Lagann, Simone who pierced the surface, and Simone who would now lead humanity to victory.
Man, I got that cape on. He got that shit on, bro.
He at his side, who helped pull him out of his rut and kick Lord Genome's ass. But victory only lasted 7 years before the anti-spiral attacked.
Unimaginably powerful godlike aliens, the anti-spiral feared humanity's potential, what they dubbed the spiral nemesis.
Remember how Gurren Lagann runs on fighting spirit? Turns out that's just a manifestation of spiral power, an energy that all spiral beings, like humans, have. That's right, the laws of physics run on chutzpah.
Just as the spiral turned inward represents endless obsession and madness, the spiral turned outward spins forever into infinity, the perfect representation of humanity's evolutionary potential.
Potential Simone would use as he led Team DIGGIN across the multiverse to take the fight to the anti-spiral.
I've seen that man so many times.
Gets crazy.
Channeling spiral power lets you constantly adapt to threats, no matter how overwhelming. Simone can create portals to different realities and higher dimensions. He can generate force fields, absorb energy attacks, and even merge Gurren Lagann with bigger and stronger machines.
Creating the Arc Gurren Lagann, which is strong enough to shatter space and time with a punch.
Or Super Galaxy Gurren Lagann, which can fire lasers that are fast enough to hit, and I quote, all time, space, and dimensions, all within a Planck instant.
That's the smallest unit of time physically possible.
Meaning each laser would have to be moving 4.6 times 10 to the 117th power times faster than light. Oh, well, looks like
that is a
this
W.
is the award for fastest calculated speed feat in our show's history. Congratulations, Gurren Lagann.
Move over, SpongeBob. You've been dethroned. Oh, and
Well,
the
damn.
guidebook says they hit an innumerable number of enemies across infinite...
That's faster than Wally and Archie Sonic, I'm pretty sure.
I cannot calculate how fast that is.
But it wasn't enough to escape the anti-spiral's greatest trap, the multiverse labyrinth. an attack that imprisons Simon in his own unique multiverse, forced to experience an infinite number of alternate realities that controlled his mind, permanently arresting him in a dream world.
Except Simon and his spiral power are just built different, and after being inspired by his bro, Simon absorbed that whole multiverse to escape.
What makes this even more impressive is that this labyrinth was 11-dimensional, meaning Simon absorbed a higher dimensional structure several orders of infinity greater than himself.
What the
jump
fuck?
between dimensions is basically infinite. Each new dimension adds a new direction of space that extends infinitely, thus an infinite gap in size.
I saw Game Watch 2 earlier.
What?
Oh, we're just getting started. Imagine a 2-dimensional drawing interacting with a 3-dimensional person.
Okay, that's not too far off from what actually happened.
Because when Simon absorbed the multiverse labyrinth, he merged with every alternate universe version of himself, including an alternate universe Simon who is writing his own alternate universe version of Gurren Lagann.
Okay, dude, how am I supposed to keep up with all this, bro?
Made his fictional Simon real.
This is a mech anime, right, bro? This is a mech anime?
Every human being has spiral power. You're telling
Damn.
me we can all do this shit?
This all gave our Simone enough spiral power to form the next step in mecha evolution, Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann.
This is when Gurren Lagann gets actually fucking crazy. Like shooting missiles that alter probability so they have a 100% chance of hitting you, or tossing galaxies around like frisbees. Sorry, did I say galaxies? I meant universes.
Simon's power was so immense that he started generating super spiral space, a higher dimension encompassing our own universe.
With it, Simon turns his thoughts into reality, letting him create his mech and all of its weapons in the first place.
Not only does this mean he no longer
This shit is happening in real life, by the way, you guys.
also regenerate any damage done to him or his mech just by willing it back into existence.
Like when Lord Genome used spiral power to survive quantum breakdown, or the time Nia, now the best wife in the universe, used spiral power to constantly regenerate her body from being erased at the informational level for 7 days straight.
Information in physics is essentially the ones and zeros that make up every possible outcome in reality. Nia literally regenerated from the statistical certainty of her own destruction.
If I have spiral power, whiz, when the fuck is my leg growing back?
When even this was not enough for the anti-spiral, Simon evolved one more time.
Into Super Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann!
This mech is so big, its size is literally incalculable. And with a drill somehow even larger than that, Simon and his friends shattered the anti-spiral once and for all.
Hey,
Bodied that
know
nigga.
The difference of the universe. Meet the indomitable human spirit.
Proving Kamina's words prophetic, that Simon's drill is the drill that would pierce the heavens.
With no
Literally.
worlds left to conquer, Simon chose to wander the earth for the rest of his days, in service to others.
Always looking up, for all the lights in the
Man, that
sky
dog is
are
old now.
stars, and every star another world of spiral cousins that can live free.
All thanks to a humble digger.
W. Simone, W. Simone.
The universe is a dangerous place. Should you find yourself face to face with an interdimensional vampire, alien dictators, or this one really pissed off cat, you know who to call.
The
Star.
Green Lantern Corps. They're the Space Fuzz, an intergalactic police force founded billions of years ago by blue leprechaun gods.
And the greatest Green Lantern among them was everyone's favorite, Hal Jordan.
You know him. You love him. You might hate him. But you gotta respect the man with a will as unbreakable as Hal's.
Until the day his will broke.
After his hometown got completely obliterated, Hal lost his mind. He rampaged through the core, killing everyone in his path, and absorbed the central power battery, the literal Green Lantern.
Becoming the Emerald Tyrant, Parallax.
There was only
Yep,
one
yep,
survivor
yep.
of Parallax's killing spree, Ganthet. And with what remained of his strength, he gave the last Green Lantern ring in the universe to a human, Kyle Rayner.
So, was Kyle picked for his indomitable willpower like Hal was?
He was just there. He had no idea what was going on. Must feel good being given the most dangerous magical weapon in existence to figure out on your own. Hey, if Colonel Sanders, Daffy Duck,
It's like
Space
Skulls.
and a sentient box can master it, what's your excuse, Kyle?
The Green Lantern ring can do anything, fulfilling any wish its user desires as though it were a genie from a lamp.
It lets you fire energy blasts, create force fields, affect gravity, turn invisible and intangible, manipulate matter, time travel, warp reality, and erase things from existence.
Think we're exaggerating? Well, consider the time Kyle stretched the very fabric of space to increase the Planck length a billion times over. That's
What
like
the
stretching
fuck?
an inch into a light year.
Lanterns control time and space, letting them fly so fast they can create a Speed Force singularity.
Tapping into the Speed Force
What?
requires entering a higher dimension of space, requiring speeds that are not only faster than light, but
Superman got eyelashes in that bitch.
and the rings have an artificial intelligence that operates just as fast, automatically protecting its user from danger.
Like the time that Poozer Kilowog survived being erased from existence by the Crisis on Infinite Earths.
The ring is fueled by its user's willpower and limited only by their imagination.
While Hal may have had the greatest willpower,
I got this 80s cop
Hal's
music playing.
imagination is unmatched, probably because he's a comic book artist. And we know from this show, they think of some wild shit.
But the Green Lantern's most recognizable ability is their constructs, Kyle's speciality.
Samurai armor, pirate ships, giant dragons, actual working home computers, and his favorite, super fighting robots. Hey, that one looks familiar.
Kyle can make them strong enough to lift the Spectre, who weighs as much as eternity.
Or hold back a 12.3 dimensional Big Bang. Wait,
I like that version of Rayner.
DC's multiverse has 12.3 dimensions? That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
The ring's only downside is that it's limited to 24 hours before needing a recharge.
So it can blow up universes,
But he's no longer a Green Lantern, is he?
iPhone. Never mind, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Although I'd say Kyle's biggest weakness was Kyle. With great power came no responsibility.
Perhaps a manifestation of Kyle's self-doubt. Any reflection came too late, though, when one of Kyle's villains brutally murdered his girlfriend, Alex, and put her body in a fridge.
Kyle
Damn.
wasn't the only one
Oh,
traumatized.
how did he not turn to a Red Lantern?
So infamous, it started the trope called fridging.
For how female characters are often sacrificed as mere plot devices to
Yeah.
further male characters' development.
So it might surprise you that it happened to Kyle again.
Kyle finally got serious. He became a prominent member of the Justice League, faced off against Hal, and even rebuilt the Green Lantern Corps better than ever.
But little did he know, this torchbearer's greatest journey had only just begun.
In order to save Ganthet from an
He looks cool here, too.
lobotomy, it's a long story, he had to master all the colors of the emotional electromagnetic spectrum.
There are 7 colors, each representing a different emotion. The yellow
What about white
light
and
of
black?
fear lets Kyle manipulate the worst horrors in your mind. The more scared you are of him, the stronger he becomes.
Orange light is fueled by bottomless avarice, possessing Kyle to absorb not merely his enemies' attacks, but also their souls.
Red is rage, ripping out Kyle's heart and replacing his blood with napalm. Which sounds like it sucks, but it's metal as hell.
Blue light is powered by hope and allows Kyle to heal wounds, resist mental domination, and supercharge his ring.
Indigo is compassion, reducing his opponent's will to fight and letting him open portals across space, connecting him to others.
The final one was the sapphire light of love. With it, he can trap enemies within crystal matrices and control their minds. But Kyle only mastered it by forgiving himself for Alex's tragic death.
Oh, self-love. I get it.
Yeah, love yourself, yo.
And with their powers combined, he doesn't just make his enemies taste the rainbow.
The lights of the spectrum merged, and Kyle became a White Lantern, with total control over the power of
Ooh, you get a sword?
Wiz, I cannot think of an attack more useless in a death battle than something that makes you live.
Empowered by the physical embodiment of all life in the DC multiverse, Kyle is vastly more powerful than any other Lantern in existence.
Far stronger than Hal, who could harness the energy of every power battery across the multiverse.
Not only can Kyle instantly heal all wounds, purify corruption, and resurrect the dead, the white light of life is strong enough to go up against threats to all of creation, like the Anti-Monitor.
Okay, so it's not totally useless.
Especially after Kyle visited the Source and acquired the Life Equation. Essentially the...
He had the life equation? Oh, yeah, it's him. It's White Lantern. Yeah, he's gonna win. He's gonna win. Sorry, that's all he needs.
Living.
With
That
it,
thing-
you can alter all of
Yeah.
reality at a
Wow.
whim,
White Lantern, bro.
threatening the new gods.
Shout out Simone, but
The Life Equation, like its counterpart, the Anti-Life Equation, is a conceptual artifact from a higher reality, originating in a platonic realm that is, in a sense, more real than we are.
So it's not a shock that the equation made Kyle too powerful.
He struggled to control it, and it subconsciously manifested a being composed of his fears and anxieties. Oblivion. Kyle's greatest weakness was still himself.
Kyle spent his whole life struggling with the power that the gods granted him, and throughout it all, he always rose to the occasion, carrying the universe on his back.
But ultimately, the only way to stop power from corrupting is to spread it. So Kyle split the life equation into pieces to found his second core, the White Lanterns. And together, they shattered Oblivion, destroying the self-doubt that plagued Kyle once and for all.
Not bad for a comic book geek from LA.
And now he was the one giving out rings of unlimited power to people who weren't sure if they could command it.
So he told them the truth. You can't teach someone how to use such power. You have to learn yourself, making mistakes along the way.
But with
Real
the
shit.
power of life at their command, there's no end to their journey, only endless beginnings.
And he gets a Violet Lantern.
Hey,
Okay.
remember Beerus versus Sailor Galaxia? No? Well, that's because it was taken off YouTube for being too anime. But we've got a solution. It's our own website. That's www.deathbattle.gg. It's like our own
That's fucked up, but they gotta take it down.
store for Death Battle merch and a complete Death Battle video archive. It's got episodes that YouTube has banned, blocked, and censored, and there's even more goodies on the way. So check out deathbattle.gg live right now.
Let these niggas work, bro. Let them do what they gotta do. Like,
All right, the combatants are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities.
It's time for a death battle!
let's go. It's gonna be universal. This is gonna be multiversal, hyperversal. Oh, outerversal. Alright, I shut up.
Alright, I'm not rusty at all.
Niggas playing.
Dude, Green Lantern Officer Kyle Rayner here. Ring says you've got a Class A galactic super weapon, whatever that is. I'm thinking it's the giant mech. Why don't you hand it over?
Gurren Lagann's mine, officer. Just who the hell do you think you are?
Oh shit, he just ran up and punched that nigga. That's cool.
I'm told I'm bad with authority.
That's Shinron or is this a dragon?
Tell me about it.
Four? That's nothing! My drill will pierce the heavens! Take it to Gurren Lagann!
I gotta watch this anime.
That's really cool.
I like this. I like.
We do the impossible.
See the invisible.
Touch the untouchable.
Break the unbreakable.
If you ain't know,
Now you know!
I like that. I like that. They respect each other. The source wall.
Follow the digger! If there's a wall in
He's gonna dig through it.
I'll smash it down!
Oh shit! He broke the source wall. That's a big no-no. That's a big. Ooh!
stop fighting. Think about your fear of death, your love of your friends, your compassion for me, your hope for the future.
The brother.
Choose life. Have faith in the Simon.
That cape is. That cape is heat, bro.
Super Tekken Topa Gurren Lagann! My drill is the drill that will transcend the heavens! Giga Drill Free!
Jeez. He made his own drill. Wow. Bro, where are we going, bro? We broke infinity. We're to a higher infinity.
Super weapon wasn't your mech.
It was me.
Then, Simone, I'm taking you in brightest day, in blackest night. No evil shall escape my sight. Let those who worship evil's might
Beware my power.
Green Lantern fly!
Woo! Oh shit!
Grit those teeth!
Oh! He knocked him into a Green Lantern. It's over.
You'd make a good lantern.
G fucking G.
Earth, you have been chosen.
He becomes a Green Lantern. I was wrong.
Who the hell do you think I am?
I was wrong. Okay, that was a good fight. That was a good fight.
Oh, for the guy with the snazzy sunglasses.
When both
That's
characters
clean.
possess unlimited power, it's hard to judge them by our normal standards. Take speed. Simone can hit an infinite number of targets all at once, and Kyle can fly fast enough to surpass the normal concept of speed itself.
When you control space and time, things like strength and speed kind of become irrelevant.
Instead, let's analyze them through a lens more applicable to beings as absurd.
Yeah, guys, I'm crying because White Lantern
their
died.
imagination, their willpower, and their ultimate potential.
First up, imagination. The boundless things they could conjure to use against the other. Both could think up just about anything the other could. Like
The fact that because of
each other's attack,
Green Lantern is
fighting
crazy.
across time, anything.
Simone did have a few attacks that Kyle hasn't encountered, like the probability-altering missiles, but it's likely Kyle could adapt considering his ring could protect against existence being erased across the multiverse.
And in general, Kyle's constructs were a lot more creative than Simone's arsenal, which was mostly drills. Though again, nothing Simone couldn't adapt to with, say, his energy absorption. Imagination is a draw.
That leaves the other main factor for both characters, the origin of their unbelievable might, their willpower.
And that's really gonna be the winning factor here, since it's the source of everything for both of them. Whoever's got the stronger willpower wins.
Both can manipulate reality on a multiversal scale with their willpower, but we can use dimensions to roughly calculate a difference. This might sound absurd for most characters, but it's necessary for beings as beyond the pale as Simone and Kyle.
The multiverse labyrinth that Simone absorbed contained 11 spatial dimensions. That's 1.3 dimensions less than the multiverse Kyle's power can threaten.
That is true.
Each numbered dimension infinitely surpasses the one below it.
Which meant Kyle's willpower was stronger at a base level. However, that doesn't necessarily mean Kyle gets the edge, because if there's one thing both of these guys are known for, it's that they can always get stronger.
So to determine the limits of their willpower, we first need to understand their full potential.
Simone's whole deal with spiral power is how he can constantly evolve to get stronger. So just because Simone starts off weaker doesn't mean he'll stay that way.
Absorbing the multiverse labyrinth required Simone to leapfrog several orders of infinity in an instant. Simone made himself that much stronger through sheer force of will.
That's crazy.
More than enough to close the gap with Kyle, especially since spiral power also.
If I just believe I'm stronger than all of you niggas, I'm stronger than all you niggas, bro. That's pretty much.
Destroyed something that thoroughly before.
With the ability to easily kill Simone, it was only a matter of time before Kyle's ring ran low on charge.
That is true.
Simone could likely regenerate for at least a week straight, like Nia did, while Blue Lantern Light could boost.
Nigga went into low power mode.
Several orders of infinity in strength, like Simone has.
And while Kyle could manipulate emotions to reduce Simone's willpower, Simone resisting the labyrinth's mental manipulation meant he could power through anything Kyle threw at him.
Everything, that is, except for the life equation. It originated from a higher level of reality and would have more than even the odds.
Too bad Kyle couldn't control it. It was just as much a detriment to him as an asset, forcing him to relinquish it to keep from destroying reality and himself.
Compare that to Simone, who merged with a version of himself writing a version of Gurren Lagann, and using spiral power to make that fiction into reality.
Pretty similar.
I've heard of this anime. I just,
the life equation,
you know,
and a level of power Simone
damn.
had no trouble embracing and mastering.
I've seen Anti-Spiral plenty of times too.
Look at it. Simone might start weaker, but his peak will always transcend Kyle's. Isn't that how all of Simone's battles usually go anyway? That's Gurren Lagann in a nutshell.
So Simone's incredible potential eclipsed Kyle, which means his willpower was ultimately greater. Kyle may have embodied life itself, but Simone's unstoppable evolutionary potential
took the W.
shatter even this lantern's light.
I hope Kyle at least dug the fight, because when it comes to death battle losers, he was a dead ringer.
The winner is Simone the Digger.
Damn.
Next time on Death Battle.
What we got next? Wait. Tom and Jerry? Wile E. Coyote versus Tom Cat. Okay, wait. I feel like I've done this battle before. I've done like a little short of it. Yeah, I would give this reaction or this battle. I'll give it a W. This is a fat W. I'm not mad about the results. To be fair, I didn't really know much about either character, to be honest. The um, production was fine, animation was fine. Uh, yeah, I gotta look into Gurren Lagann more apparently. Um, but was this a scrap death battle? I remember Tomcat versus Wile E. Coyote was supposed to come out, but never did. Someone tell me about that. Um, as far as I'm gonna think I'm gonna win the next battle, it might be. I think it's gonna be Wile E. Coyote, man. I mean, this is someone who is in a Looney Tunes verse, and Looney Tunes go like rewrites. They exit drawings all the time and stuff, and they talk to the artists. Yeah, the Wile E. Coyote has like, they could paint little. They can go into mountainsides and paint a tunnel through it and actually run through. They defy reality more than like I would say Tom and Jerry. But yeah, let's discuss that in the comments. Shout out Death Battle, great battle, and I'll catch you in just the next one. Please like and subscribe. Peace out.